I'm great at making plans for my knitting. I love going through patterns, I love going through my stash, making plans for big trips. For example, next week I'm going on a ski trip. I will be gone for a week. I will be driving a long way. I'll be sitting in a car a long way, and I need something to knit. So I thought, let's take this time to actually knit the keffiyeh that I've been wanting to knit for ages. I cast it on Friday, today is Monday, and I nearly finished already. I've been knitting so much these last few days and it's nearly finished. So that plan went to shit. I mean, I love that I have a nearly finished keffiyeh. I hope to get it finished before the trip, but that leaves me with the problem that I don't have a big project to knit while I'm in the car, waiting, lounging around, taking a break from the slopes. I'm not a skier, so I will be taking plenty breaks. So what I think I'm going to do is just be audacious. We are traveling by car, so I have the space and I have the mental capacity for 2 things. Problem is, these are all self-drafted and not complex in themselves, but you will see. The first project that I've had in the back of my mind since last season of Bridgerton is that I want to knit myself a pair of wisteria socks. I have white sock yarn for my base. I have a green silk mohair, soft silk mohair by Knitting for Olive, and I have the Fingerborg silk mohair in this lovely iris blue, grey, green, purple, pink colourway, and I want to knit myself a pair of socks with these. The colour work is going to be at the very top of the foot or the leg, and then it's just going to be straight knitting, which is probably good because I'll have something to do while I chat to the people I'm travelling with. But the first little bit is going to be quite intense, locked in, not social knitting, so this is a good social knit once I get past the first few centimetres. And the second knit, this is Luna Norwegian Lamb's Wool from Hillesvåg Ullvarefabrik, and I bought this in Norway. Did I buy it over the summer or over New Year's? Anyway, this is gorgeous. I love this. I want a knitted cardigan with this. It's so springy, it's so fun, and I want to self-draft a cabled cardigan. Is this enough yarn? Probably not. I will, however, try my best, and if I need to buy more of this yarn, I will have it for the sleeves or some. I'll make it work. Famous last words, but I should have taken this out beforehand. I have the 250 Japanese knitting stitches, and this Bible of a book has so many beautiful patterns that I want to get my teeth into. I just thought about biting the wool. Terrible, terrible feeling. But I want to get my mind teeth into this, and I have found a few cabled patterns or lace patterns that I want to combine into this cabled cardigan. I am definitely audacious enough to self-draft this. Have I ever knitted a fully cabled garment? No. Have I ever knitted a cardigan? Yes, I have. But then I frogged it, or I gave it away. I gave it away because the colours are the colours of the Swedish Correctional Institute's, the inmates in Swedish prisons. And I used to work in a prison for summer, and once I had seen that, I just could not unsee it. So those colours had to go. But I want a boxy, cute little springy cardigan in this obnoxiously springy colour, and I want it to be cabled. So I am going to wind these up into balls, probably just 1 or 2, because I can't make an entire... I was going to doubt myself just there. I can't make an entire cardigan in a week, she said, while also having knitted a full fucking keffiyeh on 2.5mm needles in 3 days. Fight me on this. I don't know what will tickle my fancy the most. I hope something will tickle me. And if it does, then you will see what happens in the next few clips. So I'm currently in the gondola lift on our ski vacation, and I've worn these mittens for the last 3 days, skiing, sweating, being very hands-on with my actual mitten, and it's really visible that they've felted. So you can see that this portion where I hold my, what are these called? I really felt the stitches together, whereas if you look here where I basically have had no friction at all, it's a lot more defined and a lot bigger, and it does stretch quite a lot more. Here there's barely any stretch left, and this is what I was going for these mittens, because this portion is so wind resistant and so water resistant. So I think that once I get back, I am going to felt all of this. I am going to lose some of the definition in the lemon pattern, which is, I mean, a bit of a shame, but it's going to be so much more functional, which is everything I actually need from the mitten. And you can see the thumb as well is quite felted. These have served me so well, so much better than the bought plasticky ones that I had on last year's vacation. So 100% wool. Who would have guessed that that is the superior alternative? Anyone could have guessed that. It's just so much better. And can we take a moment for the view? I'm going all the way up there and a bit further still. I'm going to the other side of the mountain, because yesterday I twisted my knee and I had to go get a knee brace. So that's what I did this morning. The other people are already up up the mountain and down on the other side. So I'm just going to go hang out with them now. And then hopefully we'll get some waffles for lunch in the, what is it called? Toppstuga. The cabin at the top of the mountain. Waffles. Anyway, I hope so. So I got back to the cottage because my knee just couldn't handle it, but I am now back to prototyping. This green is knitting up so well. I'm using 5mm needles for this, and the lace pattern is quite lovely. It's I wonder if it's a little bit too big, that the holes are a bit too big, or if this is going to look better once it's blocked and bloomed. Because I don't think I want to make it in a smaller gauge, because I sort of like the idea of having it quite airy. But I will cast this off, block this, just squish it with some water, see what it does to these holes, and I'm going to cast on what I envision for the sleeves, because I want like a creeping vine pattern up the sleeves. So that's all of the knitting that I have managed in the last 5 days, because the socks that I brought that I wanted to knit, that I had a finished idea for, the base sock yarn ended up being too thick. So I'm going to have to rethink the yarn choice, but not the pattern, because the pattern hasn't been tested just yet because of the wool thickness. So yeah, ski trip treating me well, except for the knee, obviously, but otherwise the mood is great, the weather is beautiful, and I have probably like an hour or two left before the others come back and I can do some knitting. I'm finally home. We had a great week. I've had so much fun. The knee is perfectly fine again. It just needed a few days of rest and relaxation and moderate activity. But I did do some knitting as I had set out to do. I did not finish anything. That was very hubriotic. I did have a lot of hubris going into this. And also, I'm happy that I didn't knit because it means that I spent so much time doing other things than knitting. First thing I started knitting was the sock that I wanted to prototype, and I ended up not continuing on with it because it's just too thick of a yarn combination. This Drops Fiesta is just a smidge too thick, and holding it together with soft silk mohair, it's just too chunky and it's not at all what I want. I want a daintier sock. So I scrapped that idea. I still haven't really tested out the pattern or the stitch that I wanted to try out because it was just too thick for my 2.5mm needles, and I am putting that on the back burner for now because I have 2 more weeks of my no-buy, and then after that I can decide if I want to get a thinner white sock yarn. But for now this has to wait because I don't have the appropriate yarn. The second thing that I did spend a lot of time knitting on is the sleeve, and I am so pleased with it. It looks amazing. This stitch from the book, from the 250 Japanese knitting stitches patterns, it's just gorgeous. It has this creeping vine with the leaves and the buds, and just absolutely gorgeous. I'm doing a 2x2 moss stitch on the back, did some increasing, did a cheeky little twisted cable on the cuff, which is also in this pattern book. And this, to begin with, was quite difficult. It was not a social knit at all, and it's still not a social knit, but I can knit it and watch something. I can knit it and be part of a bigger group of people talking. I can't keep a one-on-one conversation while I knit this, but this is just, it's just an absolute work of art, and I look forward to having this as a wearable work of art. This is how much yarn I have left of my first hank. I have 2 more, and as I said, I have 2 more weeks of a no-buy, then I am getting this. I don't have a chance of getting the same dye lot because I bought this 2 months ago in a store in Norway that doesn't ship. So I'm going to have to be creative. I think I will just get an amount. I will have to calculate how much I actually need of this yarn in a different dye lot, whichever dye lot is available from whichever website or store I order from, and then I will do one row, like alternating rows, to try and avoid a harsh line. If I'm really lucky, I will get dye lots that are similar, and if I am very unlucky, I'm going to have to think some and figure something out. But that is all the progress that I made during this week of skiing, snow enjoyment, and knitting. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. It was a great week and I feel so much lighter in my body. My co-workers said that I look younger, and I'm like, I don't know that you're making the compliment that you think you are, but thanks. So I'm feeling relaxed, I'm feeling good, a bit bittersweet to be back home, but I'm going to keep knitting on this gorgeous, gorgeous sleeve. Take care of yourself, drink some water, and pet an animal.